On April 14th, 2007, 37-year-old Gregory Fitz and 3 friends were returning from a night out together when Gregory's car was approached at a stop sign on West 38th Street in Cleveland by 2 males who attempted to rob him. The 2 suspects shot him as he attempted to escape the situation, and they took Gregory's life. Here's the story.
My son Greg was a really happy little boy. He was very personable. Everybody that met Greg loved him. Anywhere you went, somebody knew Greg.
Greg was the first in our family, the first grandchild, my first nephew, my only nephew, my godchild. That was very, very special to me because growing up, Greg had strong faith that endured throughout his life. We went to church together. He was a very, very special person. Everybody loved Greg.
Greg had a heart as big as the world. He loved everybody. He really loved life. He had this killer smile.
He was really good to his grandparents. He loved his grandparents, and when my dad was ill, he was there and helped take care of him. He was just a very compassionate person. He met this girl and he was sure that that was who he wanted to be with at 35 years old, and he decided that that's who he wanted to marry. And
he lived with my mom and me at the time of his death, he and his wife.
You know, he had some difficulties in that, but he was working through them. And toward the end, he was coming around real well. He was getting his life together.
You know, he had his problems, but he certainly we had many, many good times and many, many good memories. You know, he was such a family person, loved his family above all else.
Cleveland Police, how may I help you?
Yeah, this is Officer Brown with Metro Police. We just had a victim of a gunshot wound come in through our front door.
Victim's name is?
Last name is Fitz, first name Gregory.
Do you know where the shooting occurred?
No. He hasn't said very much. His wife came, dropped him off at the front door, only she left before any information was given.
Okay, we'll get somebody out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
On April 14, 2007, the victim, Gregory Fitz, his wife, Marlena Fitz, and 2 friends were driving in the area of West 38th and Siam. It was about 4:30 in the morning. They stopped at the stop sign at 38th and Siam, and as they turned the corner, they were approached by 2 black males. One of the males came actually up to the car, placed his hand on the top of the car, and at this point pulled a gun out of his waistband, put it inside the window, and demanded their money. The victim responded by saying he only had $10, reached in his pocket, and proceeded to slide the money through the window. At the same time he was doing this, he threw the car in drive and attempted to take off. As he was doing this, a shot rang out. They got down the street and the victim realized he had been hit. At this point, they switched drivers, put the victim in the passenger side, and then drove him directly to Metro Hospital ER for treatment. As a result of the gunshot wound that he sustained, he died during surgery. The suspects were described by the victim's wife, Marlena, and the 2 witnesses as black males between the ages of 16 and 20. The shooter was described as being 6 foot, approximately 160 pounds, dark complexion, wearing a dark-colored hoodie. The second suspect was described as a black male, also lighter complexion, shorter, possibly 5'9" to 5'11", slim build. No clothing description was provided. The area where the shooting occurred is near Greenwood Park, known to be a drug area, drug sales, those kind of things that go on. Also, we've had numerous robberies that occurred in that area.
It was just a whirlwind all of a sudden, you know. This major person in our lives was suddenly just snatched away from us.
Couldn't believe it at first. He was gone. Miss him every day. Think about him constantly. He was a son every father would want.
My mom says all the time when we talk about this, I wish I knew who did that. I'd go get him. My mom is 85 years old. It would give us some sense of closure, a way to know that this horrible thing that happened, that it's not going to happen to somebody else's family by this individual person if we could take that person off the street.
One thing that I've done since all of this has happened is really try to get involved with Crime Stoppers. And we had raised some money to put towards it and trying to put posters out and see if anybody in the neighborhood even recognizes it or can remember that night. It'll never give me peace. But if this person is off the street, that's one gun off the street and maybe another family that it'll help.
I believe with all my heart that Greg is in heaven. And I think that he's at peace.
And I love him dearly. He's in my heart every day in my prayers. I just hope someday I'll see him again.